How's everybody doing today? So, for my article, I'll be talking about a topic we discussed from week 6, telehealth. So, in this discussion, I'll be looking to show you a telehealth article I ran across online. If you didn't know, telehealth is basically like the use of electronic information with telecommunications, technologies, and it can support healthcare patients and public health patients and like officials as well. So in this article, I discovered it talks about 5 ways telehealth is taking over modern health care to to the next level, basically, which is basically shooting it until where we're at now. So the first point they talk about is how telehealth brings expertise to many areas. And by this is mean basically, as we discussed in class, some of the benefits was how patients didn't want to wait to see a doctor and how they were readily available 24/7. So for this topic, the people that were like kind of in the rural areas, it took them like a long time, like hours over in, not even really hours, but like high ends of minutes to get to the hospital. And they basically just talked about the benefits of when telehealth, you could just log in and then get prescribed to see a doctor right away. And also it beats the wait times. So this ties into the next topic that they discussed was how telehealth assists people with limited access to special care. So in the statement, it talks about like the communities cut off to disasters, like as you heard. So like say if it's like a natural disaster, like a hurricane or a tornado, and there's like no hospital readily available, people can log into telehealth and get prescribed to like learn about their symptoms and to possibly cure it. So also they talked about how patients were able to meet new specialists, so not being able to see the same doctor every time, so they could see new doctors, get different opinions on like a certain issue, which I thought that was pretty neat. The last three that I won't get too deep into are about how telehealth is basically one, how it's practical and relatively inexpensive for patients. And this one kind of basically summarizes how like Medicaid and Medicare was eventually starting to include the use of telehealth in all their plans for like their patients, and now how it's just like beneficial that if it's included in the plan, then most people will use it. So the next one is how telehealth maximizes access to healthcare, like mental health care, my bad. By this, so like the people with like mental problems, like say if they're having like a mental breakdown, or say like just really stressed out or something, they can log into telehealth and they can talk to like a specialist, like almost like they said it in the article, it's almost like a therapy session. And I thought that was pretty neat how like people with these mental issues, instead of like stressing out and driving over these long distance, like 45 minutes or so, you just immediately log in and just talk to a specialist to help you with your situation. And like as I said, this is more immediate for patients as they would need help in an immediate issue, and also serves as therapy, like I said. So lastly, telehealth benefits being set to go. This summarizes like basically informing of how telehealth will continue to grow, and basically just when I say continue to grow, I mean spread out through the healthcare environment, being more accessible to everybody. And like when I say this, and like the term they talk about, it increases like the overall health and well-being of urban and rural communities alike. So like for those communities that don't have a lot of hospitals very close by and stuff like that, it still allows like those communities to be in the health loop. So if they do need help, instead of going to like a hour away to like a big state or something like that. Personally, I think the addition of telehealth and telemedicine programs are great. Like I think it's actually a really good idea, just being able to talk to your doctor like right on time and not having to wait and just check in. But like the one thing I worried about was like how we talked about in class, how patients can be like misdiagnosed and like receive like the wrong medicine or just get treated wrong because there's not that like that physical contact that you see when you actually go to the doctor. So like the doctor can actually like judge you right instead of you like clicking the wrong thing on like your phone, being misdescribed or just not knowing what it is. But honestly, I mean, I think that's one of the only really negatives. But if they could get through that, I think telehealth would be actually a very great idea. And I would love to see where it goes in the future. So yeah, thank you.